Hello, everybody. My name's Holden. I'm going to tell you a story about how I've earned $1 million and left my wife without a penny. My wife and I have been married for 5 years, and it felt like every day she was more and more disappointed in me. She'd usually spend her days walking around the park with her friends, talking about their lives and comparing their husbands. So, whenever I'd come home from work, she'd have these stories about how wonderful her friends' husbands are.
You know, Steven is a successful businessman. He makes $100,000 a year.
At first, she wouldn't make it so obvious. She would just imply that they're way better. But this last year, she became even more ruthless. She started telling me that I should be over the moon that she's still with me, that I'm pathetic and nobody would be interested in being with me except her. I even tried buying her flowers or gifts and cooking dinner, cleaning the house, but she would always find something I do or say that is worth commenting on. And I really felt like it was true. My wife was beautiful, so I knew I was lucky to have married this woman that was out of my league. But I still had big dreams. I was saving some money and investing it in the stock market and cryptocurrencies. I didn't really expect anything from it, as luck is really not my strong suit, but I had hope. Mostly that one day she will respect me and support me. I will make her proud. But soon, my life turned upside down. Bitcoin's worth started growing. At first, it grew just by a little bit. I decided to wait. I waited anxiously, checking every day and every week. And then, it skyrocketed. I couldn't believe my luck. My investments had finally paid off. I made over $1 million. I told my wife, and her face lit up. I remember my wife jumped from her seat, kissed me, and told me that she's proud of me. I decided not to risk waiting for much longer, and I sold half of it. That day, I took the day off work, and we spent the whole day fantasizing about how our lives would change now that my investments are paying off. The next couple of months felt like a dream. I would wake up to go to work, come downstairs, and my beautiful wife was sitting there all ready with a cup of coffee and breakfast. She'd kiss me on the cheek and tell me to have a good day. And I could finally afford to buy her jewelry and clothes that she wanted. I could fulfill every wish she had. She wanted a designer dress, I'd buy it the next day. She wanted golden earrings, I'd come home with a jewelry box. She'd tell me how jealous all of her friends are of our lives and our great relationship. She was finally proud of me. She even told me that she always knew I had the potential to be great. I gained a lot of confidence, and I thought that this is it. This is my happy ending. But turns out, I was so blinded by all of this money. You see, one time I got out of work early and decided to surprise my wife. I reserved a table at this fancy restaurant and bought flowers. I came back home to take her, but somehow she didn't hear me and kept talking on the phone. And I heard something that really crushed me.
I mean, yeah, the gifts are nice and all, but he has such a horrible taste that I have to return them every time and take the cash.
I wanted to confront her that very minute, but I was so shocked and confused that I continued to listen.
Honestly, I was already thinking about divorcing him. I couldn't bear seeing his face every single day. But dude got lucky, you know?
And she continued to laugh. She didn't really respect me. She didn't really love me. The only thing she loved about me was my money. I left the house and went to this fancy restaurant alone. I was dining and thinking about what I'd heard. This one sentence she said was spinning around in my head. Divorcing him. I was sitting alone for like an hour and felt a rage come over me. And it finally hit me. I despise this woman, and she played me. I won't let her walk all over me again. I took out my phone and wrote to her, "I want a divorce." She went crazy. I got like 20 messages telling me that I'm a loser, I'm a waste of space. She threatened to trash my place, took a picture of my clothes thrown out in the yard. She even confessed that she was planning on divorcing me, but stayed with me only because I got rich. The final message that I got from her was that she's happy to finally divorce me and take that money. That was the only good thing about me anyway. She didn't even know she was incriminating herself. I didn't want to come home, so I stayed at my colleague's for a while. Her reaction during the meeting with lawyers was priceless. At first, she walked in all arrogant and proud of herself. But after my lawyer started talking, her voice changed completely. He showed her the messages, her threats, and all my property papers. Just then, she understood that she's not getting everything she wants. First, she started sobbing, turned to me, trying to save herself, saying all these beautiful words about how much she loved me and those amazing 5 years we'd spent together. But I wasn't listening. Not anymore. I agreed to leave her the expensive gifts and money that I'd already given her, but that's all. She consulted her lawyer and eventually settled. She didn't get anything from my earnings, and she had to move out in a month. I was just so happy that I got out. After that, my new life started. I decided that it's time I made a name for myself. I sold the rest of my cryptocurrency and invested in my own business. As it started taking off, I focused all my energy on it and quit my day job. As soon as I became happy with myself and regained confidence that my ex-wife took from me, I actually found a great woman who loves me. I'm not sure where this relationship will take us, but I'm glad I learned that the only approval I need is the one from myself.